Bobinski, the Education Director here at the Biblical Study Center, with our Friday afternoon update, which is always live here at the BSC. Thanks for tuning in. This has been one heck of a really cool semester here at the BSC. We've offered 14 different classes, and every class was attended by more people than we thought. We had on average 10, 12 people per class. Been a fantastic semester, and we're thankful to you guys for supporting what we do here. And we encourage you to tell other people what we do. We've been teaching classes here for 53 years, and we're in kind of an expansion mode. We're reaching out deeper into the campus and also deeper into the community, offering more classes. And that every class, this is a new policy here at the BSC, that every class is tied to at least one certificate. So we got multiple certificate programs. I'll tell you about those in a second, just to remind you and encourage you. But I want to give a shout out to our instructors. Dr. Lynn Laird and Michael Camplain have been teaching our classes on biblical counseling, and that's applying toward the certificate in biblical counseling. Dr. John Knox has been teaching Old Testament and New Testament and who is Jesus of the Bible, and getting positive feedback on all those classes. We had Sherry Sheridan teaching on how to pray and how to hear God. And we have Michael Oswald teaching on cultural apologetics right now. And then I've been teaching some classes as well. We've had just a fantastic lineup of classes this past semester. And I just want to say thank you to the instructors who've been doing such a fantastic job. We've, as I said, got a new policy of every class is tied to a certificate. So if you want to come down to the BSC, you can get these pretty pieces of paper we have in a rack right by the front door. Or if you just don't want to come down here, we have them online. And they're just not as pretty, that's all. But if you go to boisebsc.org, you can click on the certificates link, and all of the required classes for the various certificates are listed on that page. So you can find out what classes you can take. We're here not just to help students, but also people in the community. A lot of pastors just don't have the bandwidth to raise up leaders in their churches. Well, that's what we can help. We can offer these classes and offer these certificates, train up ministry leaders. We have certificates in apologetics. We have certificate in biblical studies, biblical counseling, and starting in the fall, Christian education. And then also starting in the fall, discipleship. Going to be very exciting. And then we're also looking at starting a new certificate on ministry leadership. That's going to be either in the fall or in the spring, yet to be decided. But I just want to let you know that you can let people know in your community that these certificates are available, that we can help raise up leaders in our community and get them trained. I also want to just give a shout out to Dean Braxton, who was here last week. And if you missed last week's episode, I strongly encourage you to go back and look at our Facebook feed or go to our YouTube channel, which is The Biblical Study Center. Got to have the word "the" in there. The Biblical Study Center. And you can watch last week's interview we did right here with Dean Braxton on Friday afternoon, about 20, 25 minutes. And I didn't have an agenda going into that interview, but it became very clear to me a few minutes in that we were supposed to talk about God's love. And I've had several people who have listened to that podcast and got back to me and said it was a very powerful podcast. So I would encourage you, if you want to learn more about God's love, fantastic interview with Dean Braxton. And then also on our YouTube channel, and I think it's also still linked on our Facebook page, is Dean Braxton's testimony last Friday night. That would have been the 27th of March. And he shared how he went to the hospital for a kidney procedure and ended up getting sepsis and dying in the hospital. For he was clinically dead for an hour and 45 minutes. As the doctors tried to revive him, Dean went someplace. And like I said, you can listen to his testimony. You can judge for yourself. Dean was very, very kind to leave a whole bunch of books with us here at the BSC. So, and they're all for free for you. So if you want to come and get a book that's totally option for you, this is his testimony. It's called In Heaven. The testimony of Dean Braxton. We have it also available in Spanish. We have other books from Dean downstairs, What It Feels Like to Die. We have his wife's testimony. We've got several more books from Dean. And I would just encourage you to come check them out because they're free. Downstairs in the fellowship hall at the BSC. Come down and get them. I also want to encourage you to watch the Q&A. Dean not only spoke on Friday night and shared his testimony, but he also came back on Saturday morning, the 28th, and him and I sat down for 2 hours, and people were texting in questions, and we were just asking Dean these questions. Very informative. If you would like to go watch that, again, just go to the YouTube channel for the BSC, which is the Biblical Study Center on YouTube. And if it's not on the main page, then it would be on the live link if you click on a live. And I'll tell you what, we will put the link to that page in the comments section of this particular broadcast. So you can go look there, just click. Once this gets all wrapped up live, we'll go back and we'll add that URL. Anyways, it's been a fantastic first semester here for 2026. I'm very proud of the work that our instructors are doing. And we're going to actually, for the very first time this summer, offer some summer classes. They're going to be in unique format. They're not going to be a 5-week class. We're still going to have the 10-hour classes, but they'll be 2 days back to back. So like a Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll do 3 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, and the next day, 3 hours in the morning, and then 2 hours in the afternoon. And that'll be a 10-hour class. I know so far we have on the docket the history of the Bible, so the timeline of the Bible, so you can understand the chronological order of all the different books. And we're also doing a class on biblical geography to help you understand what was happening where. We're also going to be having a class on health, God's perspective on health. And Dr. Michael Karlfelt of the Karlfelt Center in Meridian, Idaho, is going to be one of our speakers for that, as well as Terry Ward, author of God's Prescription. So that's going to be probably a Friday, Saturday class. Now that I remember, because talking to Michael Karlfelt, he's only available on Saturday to come help us. But we're going to have, as I said, for the first time, some summer classes here at the just at the BSC, just in the month of June. It'll just be the month of June. And then, of course, July off, and then late August, well, we start back up with the fall semester. So lots of stuff to plan and prepare for. And I want a shout out to our instructors and a shout out again to Dean Braxton for coming into town and sharing his awesome testimony. Thank you so much for being a supporter of the Biblical Studies Center. And you can come down and check out what we're doing anytime. Happy to give you a tour. Big change is coming up in the fall. I'll just save that for a later broadcast, but stay tuned. This is Daniel Bobinski with the Biblical Studies Center here in Boise, Idaho. We'll catch you next week. Until then, be blessed.
Visit us at boisebsc.org to learn more and sign up for classes. Every class we offer applies toward one or more of our certificate programs. We're the Biblical Studies Center, a place to connect and grow right here in Idaho's Treasure Valley.